Welcome back to MetLife Stadium. I'm Megan O'Leary. Today is a reunion of sorts for Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. He spent 4 seasons here with the Jets from 2021 to 2024 in that DC role, and then for the final 12 games of last season stepped in as the interim head coach. Now, in a league where familiarity can be a double-edged sword, he will try to coach this Atlanta defense to a standout performance. But there are many coaches and players on the opposing sideline he still keeps in touch with, including quarterback Tyrod Taylor. But running back Breece Hall joked this week saying, well, knowing Brick is on the other side, we have got to be ready for some extra pressure. Kenny?
All right, thanks, Megan. Jets defense finished in the top 5 under Jeff Ulbrich each of the last 3 seasons. First-year head coach Aaron Glenn. Jets lost their first 7, have gone 2-2 over their last 4 games. Across the way, the New Jersey native, Raheem Morris. Falcons won the toss, elect to receive. Austin McNamara will get things started.
And Kirk Cousins did a very nice job last week versus the New Orleans Saints. Very efficient, and where he's always been good is in the play-action pass. So what did they do? They went with 13 personnel. That's 3 tight ends, 1 running back. Allowed the run game of Bijan Robinson to take over, and then Kirk Cousins doing exactly what he had always been doing, the wily old veteran, making them pay in the play action. So I expect them to come out, do something very similar today versus the New York Jets. Tyrod Taylor, the new starter for the New York Jets. He's replacing Justin Fields. And what they like about the veteran Tyrod Taylor, obviously his running ability, but he has that sense of calm that he brings to this offense. As I mentioned, I want to see him be even more aggressive. Right now, he didn't want to put the ball in harm's way last week. Had a good chance to win that game. A couple stops, they could have done that. This time around, be more aggressive if you're Tyrod Taylor. There's Bijan Robinson, and we talked about him in the running game and in the passing game, how explosive he is, how smooth he is. He just makes these dynamic plays look so effortless, and I love the way that he accelerates through the hole, and again, that power that he has running through those tackles. He's been tremendous for the Falcons all season. And speaking of Bijan, 1,396 scrimmage yards, 3rd in the NFL. Almost inexplicable sometimes when you think about how he doesn't get more touches, 25 broken tackles, 2nd in the NFL, right? And you think about these guys, the Derrick Henrys of the world, right? These bigger backs. He's not that big, but very powerful.
We head to Los Angeles for a game break. Carissa.
Thank you, Kenny. Panthers trying to stay alive in the NFC playoff picture, down 7 to the Rams. 3rd down, Bryce Young dumps it off to Chuba Hubbard, who goes the distance, 35 yards for the score. Panthers, Rams, all tied up at 7. Kenny?
Thanks, Carissa. Falcons fans certainly keeping a close eye on that game, as well as the Buccaneers and the Arizona Cardinals. 6 wins for Tampa Bay and Carolina. Welcome back to MetLife Stadium. First quarter numbers pretty even. Contavious Street looking to walk it off on the Falcons sidelines, injured on the last play of the first quarter. There he is. Saturday on Fox, 2 iconic programs go head-to-head in a huge top 15 showdown. Freshman phenom Cameron Boozer, you remember his dad, Carlos?
Oh, yes.
He leads number 4 Duke against Tom Izzo's 11th-ranked Michigan State squad. It all tips off at 11:30 Eastern, only on Fox. And speaking of Michigan State, Kirk Cousins.
It's Kirk Cousins, and we talked to him about Michigan State days. He said he had Le'Veon Bell, who, by the way, was the only player that reminded him of Bijan Robinson. And the ground game for the Jets offense with 4.9 yards a rush, 6th in the NFL, 7th in rush yards per game. The continuity, as I mentioned, with the offensive line, and 9th in the NFL, 1,067 scrimmage yards for Breece Hall. You look at the first 3 possessions, though. Punt, They get the turnover, capitalize, get the touchdown. So let's see if they can get a sustained drive coming up here.
The deal of the yard is we check in with Megan for more on these two running backs.
Yes, their friendship began actually in college when Breece Hall played for Iowa State and Bijan played for Texas, and the two have remained close friends ever since. I actually asked Breece earlier this morning, hey, what have you guys been texting about this week? And he said, we don't actually talk about the game. We're just asking about one another's family and their holiday. They have nothing but praise for each other's playing abilities, but Breece said, listen, I wish him all the best, except for today.
That's right, not today.
Falcons head coach Raheem Morris returning close to home. Grew up in Irvington, New Jersey. His high school in Irvington, 14 miles southeast of MetLife Stadium. Aaron Glenn, during his time with Dan Campbell in Detroit, they went from 3 wins to 9 wins the next season, then 12, and last year, 15. Now in his first season as head coach with the Jets, and he's in it for the long haul. Told us back in September, I want to be here for a long time. I have unfinished business. I owe this team. Of course, he played 8 seasons for the Jets. 5. As we head to a game break, Carissa.
Thanks, Kenny. Colts looking to stay atop the AFC South. Down 3 to the Texans. Daniel Jones puts this one perfectly over 2 defenders. Alec Pierce comes down with a 19-yard score. Missed the extra point. Lead this one 6-3 over the Texans. Kenny?
First half in East Rutherford with the Falcons on the move, trailing by 7. Rise at halftime is coming up with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Julian. Matthew Stafford having an MVP-type season. Buccaneers and Panthers both in action. Tampa Bay with a 10-0 lead over Arizona. Carolina now trailing the Rams 20-17. And the Falcons trailing the Jets here 7-0.
Coming up on the Verizon halftime, now that Thanksgiving's over, the playoff picture's really taking shape.
Kurt, look, now that Thanksgiving is over, it's time to put up the Christmas lights, okay?
You know this set's virtual, right?
I don't care what it is. Anybody got a ladder? I need a ladder out here.
We'll see you at the half.
Special delivery from Terry Bradshaw. We look forward to the Verizon halftime report. Raheem Morris also told us, he said when we take Algier off special teams to give him a bit of a break, he has to go back in. Wants to be on the field as much as possible, and he's all smiles as the Falcons have tied this game at 7. The big deal moment is brought to you by Walmart. The muff by Jamal Agnew. Jets recovered at the 2. And on the next play, Breece Hall took it in to give the Jets a 7-0 lead. And then it was Algier into the end zone moments ago as we head down to the field. Megan.
Thank you so much, Kenny. Coach, tie game now. What adjustments are you looking to see be made in the second half?
Well, I think our defense is doing a really good job. Just offensively, we get in too many third and long situations. It's tough to win that way, you know. So we have to go in, figure out how we can be better on first and second down, man. Get some of those third and shorts. I think we're pretty good in that situation.
How do you feel about Tyrod's play today?
Well, listen, I think he's doing a good job. I think he's getting the ball out. Just overall offensively, we got to be better.
Excellent. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time. Kenny, back to you.
All right, thanks, Megan, and thanks to Aaron Glenn for giving Megan some time before heading to the locker room in a 7-7 game at halftime from MetLife Stadium. Jets and the Falcons coming up after these messages. Kurt and the gang with the Verizon halftime report. That was today's game flow presented by Progressive and New Jersey native Steve Malone. As we get set for the second half, tied at 7. Falcons with a touchdown drive at the end of the second quarter. Kenny Albert with former New York Jet, first-round draft pick Jonathan Vilma. Jets took advantage of a short field following the muff punt, and then the Falcons tied it late.
Yeah, they did, and other than that, though, the Jets' offense has been pretty inconsistent, right? They tried to get Breece Hall involved. I want to see a little bit more of him, plus Mason Taylor, and then the John Mechie's of the world, Adonai Mitchell's of the world, and the same thing for the Atlanta Falcons offense. We saw a healthy dose of Bijan Robinson, as expected, Kyle Pitts, as expected, but now let's go back to the Moonies of the world, right? The Sills of the world. That's the reason they beat the Saints last week, because those guys got the touchdown. So you want to see the good players obviously get involved, as they should, but now you got to bring along those young guys that haven't necessarily had all the production during the season, but are equally valuable as far as getting the victory today.
Jets will get the ball first in a 7-7 game. Today, Wanger takes a knee, and we check in with Megan.
Thank you, Kenny. Well, I caught up with Raheem Morris just a couple of minutes ago. He was very happy with the way the Falcons were able to run the ball in that first half. Obviously disappointed with the turnover, telling me we cannot give up points like that in the second half. Hoping to see offensively more third downs. He likes how they are playing in this weather. Overall, he said, he feels like they're in a good spot, guys.
Raheem Morris returning close to home. Megan O'Leary returning close to home.
Megan, a Jersey native, correct?
Yes, Seton Hall grad.
There we go.
By Stiggers.
And here's the Jets defense that first half. They did a nice job really getting Kirk Cousins off of his spot. You see him having to get flushed out of the pocket. That time it was nice coverage, and then the sack to get there. Blitzing, timing it right. Steve Wilks, defensive coordinator. He has a nice beat. Now, that last series in the first half, yes, the Falcons got a touchdown, but Steve Wilks overall in that first half had a nice beat on the Atlanta Falcons. They did give up a couple runs to Bijan Robinson. Outside of that, though, when it was play action, he timed it up beautifully with the blitz. When it was third down, he caused the confusion among that offensive line and was getting sacked. So to take a look at this Jets defense to continue to be aggressive.
30. They traded away Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. Gardner to the Colts, Williams to the Cowboys, and wound up with a surplus of first and second round draft picks.
Yeah, and Kenny, I could see them using these draft picks to acquire a quarterback, right? When you think about the Lions, what did they do? They went and got Jared Goff, and then they went on this tear of having phenomenal 2 seasons. I could see them actually looking for a Brock Purdy or a Mac Jones, right? You give a couple of first-round picks for one of those guys.
Lions, of course, traded Matthew Stafford for Goff, but the Jets will certainly have options. Cash made by Tompkins, and we head to Los Angeles. Carissa.
Thank you, Kenny. You just mentioned Matthew Stafford checking in on the Rams-Panthers. Bryce Young's going to throw his second touchdown pass of the day. This one to Jalen Coker for the 33-yard score. Panthers in front over Matthew Stafford's Rams, 24-21. Kenny.
Thanks, Carissa. I thought you were a Jet man at one point.
I was a Jet man. Then I got traded away quickly on a jet to New Orleans, where I won a Super Bowl.
You became Saints man. Second down and 6. Here's Robinson. Robinson to the 34. When you think back to your time with the Jets, what are some of the biggest memories that stand out?
My first year, those memories stand out. Herm Edwards drafted me, and I remember thinking, all right, I'm going to be here forever. I got Defensive Rookie of the Year. It was fun times, great team. Chad Pennington was my quarterback, and I thought, man, they can't get any better than this. Then quickly, that's how quickly NFL changes, right? The next year, we were down to our 5th string quarterback, Vinny Testaverde, off the street. We end up losing. Out goes Herm. In comes a 3-4 defense in Mangini, and yeah, that's all she wrote from there.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Target, where game day meets the holidays.
Saturday, for the first time in conference history, number 1 and number 2 collide in the Big Ten title game. Heisman hopefuls Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza, Ohio State, Indiana. Coverage begins Saturday, 6:30 Eastern on Fox. There is The Ohio State product, Justin Fields, as we check in with Megan.
You guys just mentioned Caden Ellis, and for the NFL's My Cause, My Cleats initiative, he is representing the Georgia Kids Belong, a nonprofit whose mission is to improve experiences and outcomes for kids in the foster care system. Now, he has 7 adopted siblings, and Caden has seen firsthand the impact the gift of family can have on a child. His parents have raised 12 children in all, with Caden saying those 11 siblings are his built-in best friends. He hopes he can open the minds of fans to fostering and adoption.
Robinson knocked out of bounds at the 36. Tampa Bay Bucks, 6-5 record. Carolina Panthers, 6-6. Falcons ended their 5-game losing streak last week. Saints at the bottom of the division. Carolina and Tampa Bay both leading their games today. Raheem Morris and the Falcons tied at 14. Final minute, third quarter. Welcome back to MetLife Stadium. Falcons with a 3-point lead. 52-yard field goal at the end of the third quarter. Jets fans hanging in there in the cold. Some rain earlier. Looking for their third victory of the season.
They are committed.
Yes.
There's Tyrod Taylor. About to get another shot with this Jets offense. Brings that calming presence to the offense. 12 of 20 today, 126 yards and that touchdown. But one thing I like that I don't see are the interceptions, right? No interceptions today, no fumbles, giving his team a chance to win this game.
And we head west for a game break. Carissa.
Thank you. A back-and-forth battle here between these two teams. Panthers going for it on 4th down. Bryce Young will throw his 3rd touchdown of the day. This one to Teteroa McMillan. So with the 6th lead change of the day, Panthers back in front, 31-28 over the Rams with 5 minutes left in the 4th. Kenny.
Thanks, Carissa. So the surprising Panthers have a lead. Tampa Bay Bucks have a 10-point advantage. And the Falcons tied. Cousins and the Falcons lead by 7. Next week, tune in on Fox. Many of you will see Caleb Williams and the surprising Bears as they take on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. Chicago now 9-3. Bengals and Bills early. We will be in Arizona for the Rams and the Cardinals. Rams with 9 wins on the season, trailing Carolina by 3. Jets start from the 35. It's Breece Hall for a gain of 2. Playoff picture in the NFC. Rams, Bears. Who would have had those two teams at the top of the NFC with 9 wins apiece? Eagles lead the NFC East. We talked about the NFC South all day long, and then you have 3 8-win teams, the Seahawks, the Packers, and the 49ers in the wild card positions at the moment. And the Detroit Lions currently on the outside looking in following their loss on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, who would have thought the Chicago Bears, they go into Philly and they run it right down their throat, over 200 yards rushing on the day. That was a dominant performance by the Bears.
Second. So Cousins and the Falcons offense back onto the field. Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, entertaining second half. We had 8 punts in the first half, only 1 punt combined since halftime.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out what are we going to talk about, right? And then the Jets and Falcons, they really started to pick it up. I like the second half adjustments by both teams. They did a really nice job there. And the biggest thing was Tyrod Taylor starting to incorporate Adonai Mitchell. Of course, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts on the other side. They've been having a phenomenal game.
Teams. Stiggers with the tackle. Look at Kirk Cousins' day.
And today it was pretty good, right? It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. And you saw what he's done today. He was really looking for Kyle Pitts. Got this one to David Sills for the touchdown. But Kirk Cousins, similar to Tyrod Taylor, right? They were conservative. They didn't want to put the ball in harm's way. He did have that one interception, but outside of that, it was a good day for Kirk Cousins. And Bijan Robinson also had a phenomenal day. Now they're going to rely on Kirk Cousins and his arm, see if they can get him into field goal range here.
Great punt, 55 yards. As Tyrod Taylor looks to get the Jets into field goal range.
And Tyrod Taylor's had a nice day. They've asked him to be efficient. They asked him to get the ball out when he needed to. The second half is what I really like. They started stretching the field with Adonai Mitchell and then Tyrod Taylor using his legs. You know, they don't design these runs for him anymore. They don't need to. They know he has the ability to go and break it when he has to, use his legs, score that touchdown. And now he has the opportunity, 35 seconds, 2 timeouts, get him into field goal range.
Folks, 8 receptions, 102 yards. Most game-winning scores in the final 2 minutes of the fourth or overtime through the first 12 weeks of an NFL season. And Folk's kick is good. He's a folk hero at MetLife Stadium. A game-winning 56-yard field goal for the New York Jets.
What a game. New York Jets, both sides of the ball. Bijan Robinson also played outstanding football for the Atlanta Falcons. There's Aaron Glenn getting the 3rd victory of the season for the New York Jets.
A hug with Raheem Morris. They go way back. Jets win for the 3rd time this season. Game-winning field goal with time running out.